Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your fearless leader.
You got it, dude.
Let's go!
All right. And here we go.
Welcome back to the Here We Go podcast. I'm Trent Gang. You all know Colin Phillips. Colin, how are we doing today?
Not too bad, man.
Well, we're going to get into some news before we start into the game here. So I don't know if you heard the Tomlin press conference, but he was asked about the fact that this trip to Ireland is going to be a business trip, but is there anything he's looking forward to? He kind of paid some tribute to the late Ambassador Rooney, is how he referred to him. Talked a little bit about how something that he really would have been proud of, seeing the team go over there to Ireland. Another piece of news here, Nate Herbig gets a tryout. So looking for some offensive line depth. We had a couple guys banged up. Any reaction to either of those?
Not particularly. I mean, I guess he can kind of call Rooney whatever he wants. I am personally, I mean, I think you and I might have talked about this, but I don't know. I don't love the gimmick of well, let me rephrase. I don't love my team playing overseas. Like, if you want to have like Chargers, Chiefs in Brazil, go for it, dude. If you want to have, I think last year's Ireland game was Panthers, Giants. Yeah, it was, because I remember being at this chick's house on Sunday morning and kind of watching it there and being like, well, shit, Bryce Young's playing well. But I mean, other than that, I don't love the gimmick. I don't want my team to be a part of it. And, I mean, I don't mind waking up at 9:30 to watch the Steelers play, but I don't know. I prefer to play at 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's get into the Patriots game then. So Patriots game defense looks like they made some meaningful changes. There were some things that worked in this game. I think we saw a lot more of Equale on the nose. He kind of split some time with Keanu Benton in this one. I actually thought Keanu Benton played a lot better in this one than what he's been playing, to be perfectly honest with you. We saw a lot more of Jabril Peppers in this one. He and Chuck Clark were the starting safeties. It was not one Thornhill back there. Thought that was interesting. We saw Cole Holcomb take about almost 50%, I think, of the reps between he and Peyton Wilson at middle linebacker. And, of course, we got our rookie. Derek Carman got a little action in this one. So some of the changes that you saw in this, how impactful do you think that was playing against the Patriots?
Well, I think getting Harmon was a really big step. It was never going to be sustainable. But trotting out, whether it was Loudermilk starting, Y Black starting, Equale starting, Logan Lee getting reps, that was just never really going to be sustainable. I will say, obviously the biggest difference between, the Patriots as opposed to, the Jets and the Seahawks, it's certainly not as vaunted of a running attack. I mean, going from Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker to Ramondre Stevenson is not much. I think Drake May is a better running quarterback than Darnold, but certainly not as good as Fields. It's just it was definitely a worse offense that we had played, at least on paper, than what we had seen before. I personally think that Will Campbell is a total stud at left tackle, and Herbig had a really good game. I also think Morgan Moses has been a very solid starter in this league for 15 years at the right tackle position, and TJ finally showed up this year. And then my biggest key, Queen was great in the run game. I thought Queen was good. Peppers is going to be a very nice player to have. And then, it was very clear with, I would say we'll get into it, but from a run defense perspective, it's better to have Holcomb than Roberts, I think. Not Holcomb Roberts, Holcomb than Peyton Wilson.
Peyton Wilson. I was like, okay, that's a hot take, Colin. That's a real hot take on that one.
I totally forgot who I was thinking about. But it's nice having Holcomb over Wilson, but we saw with how the middle of the field and the intermediate areas was covered. how much Wilson is better than Holcomb, but from a run defense perspective, I thought it was a lot better.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, I mean, 5 turnovers and 5 sacks is going to do a lot to win a football game, regardless of who you're playing. And I thought that was probably the difference in this one. I think it's pretty easy to say that was the difference in this one, especially when 2 of those turnovers come within inside their own 2-yard line. I mean, you're not going to get that kind of performance very often. But you brought up Nick Herbig. Let's jump to him first, because no Alex Highsmith. Again, you like you mentioned, the number 4 pick in the draft, Will Campbell, left tackle. What's he going to do against that? I think Herbig had his way. He had a field day against Campbell, and that dude was just all over. I think he had 6 pressures in this game. Finished with 1 sack. I mean, he was rushing pass after pass, getting. I felt like he was pretty much just chasing Drake May off his spots repeatedly, just making him either throw ahead of where he wanted to throw in the routes. He was really impacting this game quite a lot. I thought Nick Herbig was phenomenal in this game.
Yeah, Herbig was really good. And yeah, he had 6 pressures. I mean, TJ had 4, Cam had 4, Ekawale had 3, Ramsey and Queen each had 1, and Harmon had 2. I mean, from a pass rush perspective, getting Harmon back was, I mean, we knew that was going to improve our pass rush for certain. I mean, the difference between Harmon and Loudermilk is pretty big. Now, again, in the run defense perspective, I still have a lot of questions. No, I wouldn't say they're Pats are one of the 3 worst teams in the league at all, especially not from an offensive standpoint. But yeah, I still have my questions on the run defense end of things. I think maybe Minnesota will give us a better idea of what it's going to consistently look like. Baltimore is going to give us our best idea, but
Sure.
But from a pass rush standpoint, coverage and pass rush are 2 completely different things. But for how many pressures we had gotten as a team, I mean, we had 23 pressures as a team. We had, I think, 14 QB hits. I was thrilled with our pass rush. If anything, I was thrilled with in this game, it was the pass rush.
Yeah, I thought they looked really good. Cam Hayward. So you weren't in this group thread, but the guys from Steelers Sanctuary, I kept messaging them all morning on the lead up to that game, and I kept telling them we were going to win. I had a feeling that Cam Hayward was going to have a monster game. Boy, did Cam Hayward have a monster game in this one. He gets a sack, TFL, forced fumble. He was the guy who actually forced the fumble. I think it was on Stevens, right down there on the 1 yard line, somewhere in there. He was getting ready to score. I mean, he had a monster game in this one. I thought Cam was the best player on the field, to be perfectly honest with you. How did you feel about his performance? He was a lot of talk about him in that contract situation.
Yeah, I mean, he was our highest grade defensive player. Really good game in the run defense as well. A really good game as a pass rusher. I mean, 4 pressures, a sack, 3 hurries. I mean, 5 total tackles, 3 run stops, one of them being a TFL. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you can have a much better game than that as an interior defensive lineman. The one thing that and again, this is not to take anything away from Cam Hayward. I don't think Jared Wilson's a very good guard, and I don't think Garrett Bradbury's a very good guard. Now, say what you want about Bradbury and the fact that he's been a starter for 11 years in the league, but that doesn't really do much for me from that perspective. But yeah, I mean, I thought Cam Hayward was probably our best player this week. I would be confident in saying that.
He looked good. What about assuming he's going to be his running mate on the other side for the rest of the season? How do you feel about Derek Carmen's debut?
I mean, very good. Very good. And I think, I've never been one to deny that a nose tackle's performance is very much benefited by, the rest of the front, right? I mean, Casey Hampton was obviously very good in his own right, but the fact that he had Kiesel and Smith and then Woodley and Harrison, playing outside of his whole career was obviously definitely didn't hurt him. I think that's something with Benton is like, if Benton's got 2 really good players, or at least good players, alongside him, I think he's going to play a lot better. Because, it really comes down to the fact that Benton gets doubled a lot. He really does. Now, what he does with those doubles is obviously a different story. But again, he gets doubled a lot. So having Harmon and Hayward over there, that opens a lot up for Benton. So I think, really positive signs from Benton as well.
I agree. I thought Harmon played fantastic. It was a little bit limited. They talked about they were going to limit his snaps. Do you happen to have his snap count there by chance?
I'm pulling it up right now.
He didn't play a ton, but man, I felt like they were really, really impactful snaps when he was in there. So I liked what I saw from him. He looked like a first-round pick. I'm going to be honest. For a guy in his first game.
He played 35 snaps. What's kind of cool that I like to see is that his run defense grade and his pass rush grade were very similar. That's always something I like to see, especially out of rookies, is like, oh shit, are they way better at one thing versus the other, especially defensively? But no, I mean, they were both pretty similar grading wise. But yeah, 35 snaps, 26 of them were in pass rush. So huge sample size to look at. I mean, yeah, so very good to see. He was fourth on the team in total pass rush snaps.
I was a little surprised he played as much as he did because they were talking about how limited he was going to look, and I was thinking maybe he gets 20, but 35 is definitely a nice sample size, and didn't look like there was anything bothering him in this game at all. I thought he looked good, so it was really nice to see the return on investment, at least week one, for Derek Harmon out there. I never actually thought about the point about how that could affect Keanu Benton until you brought that up. That's actually pretty intriguing, having the way Cam played and the way that Derek Harmon played next to him, and Benton did play better in this game. There's no doubt. I might have to take a look at that going forward to see if some of the impactful snaps that he had, if that came with both those guys on the field. I'm going to check that out on the All-22, Colin. That's a good call out. I like that one.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go to a post that you made today. PFF grading of our two starting corners. Well, two of the starting corners are playing in this game. Obviously, no JPJ. Ramsey and Slay in the top 15. And you were going based on the season, I believe, in that stat, were you not?
Yes, sir, I was.
A lot of people were talking about, Jalen Ramsey had a bad game here, or Slay looks like he's not doing anything. I don't know. I mean, did anybody hear anything from Slay outside of the fumble recovery? And they were targeting him on the outside. I'm sorry, but they were not. I know they don't have the greatest wide receiver core there, but
dude,
no stayed away from him.
And that's what I hate. That's why I hate box score watchers. Is like they don't understand with these outside corners. A lot of times, no news is good news. Nobody had heard of Diamadre Lenore for San Francisco until he got a 4-year, $92 million extension. And all the box score watchers were sitting there like, well, who the fuck is this guy? What do you mean? This guy's a stud. And it's like, now that he gets an extension, he's got, binoculars on him. But again, it's like he's the perfect example of an outside corner who was just got up and went to work, did his job for 3 years, gets himself a payday, and still plays at a high level. And now that the binoculars are on him, all of a sudden people are like, oh yeah, by the way, this guy's really good, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, that, and really I thought, I for the most part, that's who another good example would be Kenny Moore for his whole career in Indianapolis when he was still an outside corner. Now he's in the slot making a lot more splash plays and whatnot because, I mean, I don't know who Indianapolis defensive coordinator is, but he's doing a fucking amazing job right now. But he's another one. He's like, sometimes no news is good news. Sometimes the names on the outside that are on an island that you don't hear, it's actually a good thing. So yeah, I've been super happy with Slay and Ramsey over the first couple games, or a few games. Ramsey isn't he just the coolest motherfucker, Trent?
I love him.
Isn't he the
Jalen
coolest?
Ramsey.
Dude, he is the coolest dude ever. So yeah, no, I'm really happy about that. I thought Eccles played a really good game. Now his grading is kind of inflated by the pick, obviously. It's going to be really nice getting JPJ back, but it's nice to know that just from the perspective of having a serviceable corner, not a guy you ever want starting, but a guy who can come in and play, that can kind of just play all 4 or 3 or 4 out of the 5 back end positions is nice. We really need Porter back because there's a lot of times when I sat there during the game and I was like, dude, you can have, Eccles and James Pierre guarding, Keishon Boutte, but that's just not going to work against Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson next week, or, whenever they play Cincinnati, so we really do need JPJ to get back here. I'm very excited to see the defensive adjustments they make against Minnesota. It is nice to see that, in Mike Tomlin's presser, I don't watch the full thing anymore. I just kind of watch clips, same shit every week. But in his presser, he gave a lot of credit to and a lot of praise to both Jefferson and Addison. So I'm excited to see, if we make any adjustments and what they look like.
Yeah, me too. I want to talk about TJ Watt. No sacks going into the week, all season long. 6 straight games, no sacks. We heard us run repeat pretty much on any. I don't care if you watch the NFL Network, if you watched ESPN. I don't care if you watch the Steelers. All the way through the podcasters like you and I, all the way up through the ladder of the media. Everybody said the same goddamn stat week in and week out. Well, TJ got one-on-one opportunities, and he walks away with 2 sacks. How did you feel about TJ in this one?
So I think that I don't know. I don't really know. I'm kind of indifferent on how TJ plays. Like when I was watching it, I was kind of just like, it felt fairly mundane, like I feel like every time we've seen a TJ Watt game where he has like a fumble recovery, 2 sacks, et cetera, TFL, it's like, damn, this dude was unstoppable. That really wasn't the case this week per se. He had 38 pass rush snaps and only was charted for 2 pressures. Now, granted, both those pressures were sacks, which is obviously great to see.
Yeah.
But he didn't really get a ton of pressure for the most part, and I will admittedly say that. But listen, if showing up the box score is what makes the people happy, then you know what? Fuck it. I'm glad he showed up on the box score. I was really happy with how TJ played. And sometimes, with a great edge rusher, kind of like a great corner, it's like sometimes you just got to hold the fort down. I think that's one of those things that really makes, guys like, say like the Danielle Hunters of the world and the Jonathan Greenards and sometimes even like the Will Andersons and Trey Hendrickson when he was in New Orleans, is like, these guys aren't necessarily going to put up a shitload of sacks, but they really are just the best at just doing their job, playing at a high end week after week, even if it's just really rock solid ball. And that's one of the reasons why I've said for years that Danielle Hunter is one of the most underrated, pass rushers in the league. Is just, he just kind of does his job. He gives you about 9.5 sacks a year, but he really just does a good job of doing his job. And I thought that's what TJ was this week. The 2 sacks are huge, but I thought he really, held the fort down on the right side. And of course, another week where they just refused to run it his way.
I was actually just starting to pull up the chart here. I haven't made it to it yet. Travion Henderson did not have a single run outside the right hash. Not one. Everything was left. I think that says a lot. Teams do not want any part of him. They don't want any part of TJ Watt. So I think if you're going to look at it because I know a lot of people were talking about he's making all this money. What's up, James? How are you? He's making all this money, but he's not playing like it. Teams are just showing based on the way they're calling plays. They're scared to death of TJ Watt. They don't want to run the ball anywhere near him, and it just reinforces the idea. He's the best edge run defender in the league. He's not just a great pass rusher. He's the best edge run defender in the league.
Not even close either. It's not close.
Yeah, sorry, but when you have Cam Hayward on the other side of the field, and they'd rather run at Cam Hayward, who's notoriously good at run defense, or you'd rather run at him than TJ Watt, you're saying a little bit of something about TJ Watt, and that's my opinion. James, I hope you're right, because God, DK needs to get more than 40 yards receiving in some goddamn game this year. But
well, he only gets 6. He only gets 6 targets a game, which is just that just can't happen.
yeah, we're
You don't.
gonna end up switching gears to the offense here.
Yeah,
We'll definitely get to that.
that's the main concern right now.
How did you feel TJ and Herbig being on the field together as much as they were impacted the pass rush? Because I'll be honest with you, I've kind of been in this boat for a while now. I'm all in on trading Alex Highsmith and just running with the two as the starters from now on.
So my only fear with that is, and like this is kind of like my bias here. I don't know if that's the word, but my thing is with Alex Highsmith is just how good he is doing just everything. I mean, he is a really good pass rusher. He's also like a top tier run defender as well. And the one thing that Highsmith has that TJ necessarily doesn't, whether it's systematically or not, is that he does move around a lot. And like I love seeing Alex Highsmith lining up, in the 2 tech or in the 1 tech, even if it's not, hand down. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm with James. I would hate to see a world where Alex Highsmith gets traded. Now, I'd be willing to trade Herbig. I really would. I mean, I think you get a lot with Herbig. I mean, he's 25. He's clearly shown the tape. He can clearly, rush the passer on both sides. At this current moment, I'd like to give. I don't know. It's too hard. I have a special place for Highsmith, and and I know like the best ability is availability, and I preach that myself. But man, it's like what he brings to the table when he is playing is something special. I mean, it really is. So, and he's on the younger side too. That was a little bit as to why I was kind of accepting of, if we made it a shorter deal for TJ, was that we still have 2 other absolute studs. And my fear with Highsmith is that when his contract is up, we don't pay him. And we're stuck with Herbig, and either there's some type of injury on insurance or like non-injury insurance, or he's just not a great run defender. I mean, the thing is with this defense trend is that like the only way this defense functions is with 2 elite edge rushers, and this has been proven for years. Is that this defensive style is very much can only function with 2 elite edge rushers. Can I call Herbig elite yet? Can you?
I would.
Can you? I mean,
he's an elite edge as a rusher. He's elite. He's as elite as they come as a rusher.
I mean, Trey Hendrickson is an elite pass rusher too, but he's a punching bag in the run game, and that's my fear with Herbig.
Wasn't Herbig a 70 something or 70.1, 71, 70 something as a run defender in this one? I think his run defense was pretty good. I mean, I know you're a big PFF guy. I think PFF graded him out pretty well in this game. I mean, 70 is not a bad score as a run defender.
He had 71 as a defensive grade and 47.3 in run defense. That's again,
okay.
And that's really has been his whole career. I mean, his rookie year he had a good run defense season. Granted, he had like no snaps, but last year and 166 run defense snaps and 433 total snaps. He was 48.2. And again, Trent, like the one game I always go to is Indy last year. I mean, he's a punching bag. And it's like, I'm not saying Bernard Raymond is not a wonderful tackle in Indy, because he really is. He's a great left tackle. But dude, he was free eats for Jonathan Taylor. So, yeah, I think it's too early to tell if we could trade Highsmith yet. Do you know when his contract ends? I know you're a little better with contracts.
I think Alex has 2 more years on his contract.
That's fine.
I think so. I didn't look it up, but I think it's like that.
Yeah, and that's when Herbig's rookie deal comes up or is done.
Mr. Steeler fan says he thinks as the year goes on, we're going to see improvement from Black and Harmon up front. Harmon, man, I'm telling you, I was really impressed with his debut. And Black's going to get there. I think he's going to continue to grow. He's got a ton of upside.
Yeah, they're rookies, man. It's so hard with rookies, but yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that I think Harmon's a stud.
Yeah, agreed.
Total stud.
Let's switch sides of the ball because it's not quite as much rainbows, sunshines, and fun to talk about. But the offense comes out, man. The first 2 drives, they look fantastic. And we went from a team that could not score a first drive touchdown to save our fucking lives to one that scored 3 weeks in a row. And then after the second drive of this game, we just fell apart. What do you make of that? How does the team just completely lose everything after the first 2 drives?
I don't know. I because like even watching the all 22 on, I'm like, it didn't look like New England really did anything crazy from the perspective of like adjustments, or like switching coverages or rolling the back end guys up and down or anything like that. Like it really didn't look like there was a ton of adjustments being made. So I think it was just really a matter of like after the script was done with Arthur Smith, he didn't know what to call. Like that's really like what I had in mind. I was like, maybe the scripted plays were to a T, and then he didn't know what the hell he was doing. I mean, really. And I will say I think that the pass protection did implode a little bit after like the first few drives. I think Vrabel gave some of those guys just a total kick in the ass. Like, if you want to get blown out at home, go for it. I think that was more of a Vrabel thing. And that's what's so great about having a guy like Vrabel. Vrabel is like what Tomlin truthers think Tomlin is. He's not really a defensive guru, not really an offensive guru either, but he's a fucking motivator. And that is what Tomlin truthers think that Tomlin is. So I think that was more of a Vrabel thing more than anything in terms of like just the defensive improvement on their side. I mean, there's not really a lot I can put into. My biggest problem was that I don't think, I mean, other than the one touchdown play to Metcalf, I mean, he only had, so he had the TD to Metcalf. Actually, no, that was considered a deep pass. So, I mean, intermediate wise, he had three attempts. He went 1 for 3 with a pick. I mean,
yeah, I can say this: 9 of his 16 attempts, or 9 of his 16 completions, I'm sorry, were at or behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
that's over half.
I'm looking here at our RBSDM, and I think that maybe I'm kind of being harsh on him, but I mean, his EPA per play was 0.19, better than May. His total EPA was 5.2, but we ran 35 or 25 less plays on offense than New England did. His average depth of target was only 5.1, which is what it was the first game against, in my opinion, a better defense in the first game. I mean, QBR was 65. Completion percentage was 72, 73. Completion percentage above expected was 4.5. I mean, from a metric perspective, he didn't have a bad game. I got to look. I mean, I'm going to look at PFF's chart here. I think we're not sustainably running the ball well enough.
Yes,
and I'm
correct.
talking in between the tackles. I think that's where the biggest implosion was we stopped being able to run the ball. And when it's 2nd and 13, 2nd and 12, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, you're behind the chains no matter what. And then when you have Arthur Smith calling a 2nd and long fucking run play and it goes nowhere, you're playing from 3rd and forever every single drive. And that was my biggest problem, was that it felt like every single time, and whether we go 3 and out or not, it'd be like, damn, it's 3rd and 12 again. Damn, it's 3rd and 7 again. Damn, it's 3rd and 10 again. I'm gonna try and find it on whether it be RBSTM or PFF or whatever it might have been, like our average distance on 3rd down, but it couldn't have. It had to have been more than 7 or 8 on average 3rd down to go distance. It had to be.
So we're 3 games into the season, and this young offensive line, like where do you stand with them? Because this young offensive line is not looking like we talked about. If they were at least middle of the pack, this team could make some noise. They're nowhere near the middle of the pack right now. Do you blame more on them in the run game, or do you blame more of Jalen Warren right now? Or is it a mixture?
I don't think Warren's good enough between the tackles. That's for certain. I think he's a much better player in space, and we just with Caleb Johnson just not giving us much, it's really hard to justify putting Gainwell in that spot. I'm going to look here. I mean, this is just PFF strictly. I mean, from a run blocking standpoint, Pittsburgh is 15th in the league as a team. And from a pass blocking standpoint, we are 23rd. Now, I don't know, in terms of like, how many pressures versus, whatever metrically or metric wise where we are as an offensive line, but I don't think it's as bad as we think. I think the same thing I said on Tuesday or whatever day last week, Trent, is right now we kind of have a Rodgers problem. In the fact that I think he's creating a lot of his own pressure still. I think that as efficient as he has been, he's still kind of getting rid of the ball too quick. I think that he's throwing the ball to behind the line of scrimmage too often, and that is leading to negative plays and plays that go nowhere. I also think that, again, our run scheme just isn't – not our scheme. Yeah, our run scheme just isn't good enough, and we don't have a sustainable enough running back to play between the tackles. Arthur Smith's run game, as much as he does like the wide zone, is between the tackles. And that's really not Caleb's game, to be honest. He is a wide zone player. And we were hoping he'd become a little bit more of a better player between the tackles, but that's just not going to happen. And Warren is clearly a running back that's better in space. He's an RB2, like me and you have talked about. Kenneth Gainwell is an RB3, like we've talked about. So we don't have a running back that's very efficient in between the tackles. So I think right now what we should be doing is we should be looking at shopping for a guy like that that's better between the tackles. Is Tampa Bay looking to but shop Rashad White? Is Indianapolis willing to, give us a look at DJ Giddens, the rookie out of Kansas State? I mean, is Green Bay willing to give us a look at Chris Brooks? Trying to think of guys that just aren't very high on the depth chart that are just good in between the tackles. Is Seattle willing to let us look at Zach Charbonnet? I don't know. We have to find just something better than this, because as much as the fan base wanted to shit on Najee Harris and knock on him, he was damn tough between the tackles, and he wasn't going to get you 7 a play. He was going to get you more than 2 or 3. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still kind of feel like there's a continuity issue with the offensive line, and that's going to come with having four really young guys and Isaac Seumalo. You've got we're in game 3 of Broderick Jones at left tackle. We're in game 3 of Troy Falatoni, basically, period. You got a Mason McCormick and Zach Frazier in year 2. These guys haven't played together, and offensive line, unfortunately, usually takes a couple of years. We're just not able to give them a couple of years because we don't have 2 years of Aaron Rodgers. We have 1 year of Aaron Rodgers, and then we're going to see what happens. So, it seems like in certain plays, at least one of them, one of the 5, has a let up, and it just wrecks the entire play. And it's happening time and time again. And I think, to your point about Aaron checking it down too quick, he has found a clear security blanket in Jalen Warren, and he wants to get him the ball all the time. I'm going to save my next talking point for the next piece of this, but the plays aren't developing. I think there's a wide receiver issue still. I know everybody talks about whether or not we need a wide receiver. Nobody's open downfield.
That's a schematic thing. I think that's a schematic thing. I just think Arthur Smith's dropback system is just terrible. I mean, Calvin Austin's been a stud. Jonnu Smith's a good player. Pat Fryerman's a good player. DK Metcalf's a great player. I really do think right now, Trent, we have a schematic issue.
Well,
I
if
don't.
you can't run the ball, you get very one-dimensional, and then everybody's in cover two, and they're just
Well,
going to shell over top all day long.
we're kind of in a bad spot, Trent, because we have a run-first offensive coordinator, and we can't run the ball. So by default, we're going to have a bad passing scheme, and if that's struggling too, we're kind of fucked. And
Yeah.
we kind of do have an Aaron Rodgers problem right now. I'm not saying that it couldn't change because he's one of the smartest players the sport has ever seen. But I think at the current moment, we do have a Rodgers problem. He's a little bit impatient. He's a little bit, there's some scar tissue there, clearly, in the pocket and stuff like that. But I really think something's got to give with the drop back scheme. Just has to give, you know. And the two things I'm going to be looking for the next few weeks is schematically, just from a play calling perspective, are the route concepts going to look better? And are we going to be able to shop for a back that can run in between the tackles on early downs? We don't need Warren to play all 3 downs. We don't.
No.
We also don't need a running back who needs to play all 3 downs. We can do a good balance. We did a good job with it with Warren and Najee for 2 years. I just think those are the two things I'm going to be looking for. And to bring up metrics, Trent, I mean, offensive success rate, we are 21st. Drop back EPA, we are 16th, mid-pack, exactly in the middle. Drop back success rate, we're 22nd. Rush EPA, we are 20th. And rush success rate, we're 15th. So what that tells me is that it's not really a running back issue. Now, EPA per play on offense, we are 17th. So we're right in the middle for pretty much most of these things. So what that's telling me, it's not really anything with personnel. I think it's more of a schematics, in my opinion. But
Could be right.
But you're right. Some has to give. And I don't know what that is right now. I don't think like watching the film, trying to look at the metrics, trying to like really break it down, Trent. And I think me and you are both having a tough time with this because neither of us are really posting much about it. It's like, I don't think either of us really have an idea of what's got to give, what's got to change. Like,
It's just so confusing because they start out so hot. They finish hot. There's just no fucking middle. There's nothing in the middle.
I'm going to look at weeks 2 and 3 specifically. Maybe that might help.
Yeah, think about this. I mean, we finished the first 2 drives, and then we do jack shit as an offense for the entire rest of the game. And then when we need it most, they make a freaking drive and they score again. I'm just kind of perplexed as what we're doing right now. It's so confusing because I just feel like I don't think Jaylen Warren's the guy. I've been saying I don't think Jaylen Warren's the guy. I love Jaylen Warren in his role from last year. I think he was the best in the NFL at what he did. This team should give Caleb Johnson a shot. I mean, he cannot be worse than Kenneth Gainwell. I think Kenneth Gainwell is god awful. I don't think he should be on the field. I've been pretty adamant about that. But like,
so the first week was
we're not effective.
I know, and I don't know what to say, Trent, but I did look here. So weeks 2 and 3 alone, our rushing success rate is 10th in the league. Our dropback success rate is 25th. So going from 20 and 15 to 10 and 25, that lets you know we have a quarterback issue or pass game issue. Dropback EPA, 23rd. Rush EPA, 23rd. Okay.
We're all over the place.
Offensive success rate, 22nd. Total EPA, 24th. Yeah, I mean, obviously,
So let me ask you this real quick because Bob brought this up yesterday, and there's I think there is some truth to it. He said the first 2 drives, if you watch the first 2 drives, Jaylen Warren's on the field the entire time. The very next drive, when we get the ball back, Jaylen Warren's not on the field. The offense sputters out. he goes a long way because you get a couple long New England drives mixed in there where he's not on the field for a long time. Comes back out on the following drive. That's when we throw that screen, which I don't know what the fuck that call was. That Arthur Smith runs that screen pass with Johnny Smith coming across the fucking line, and the goddamn edge defender gets out to Jalen Warren as soon as he catches the ball, and it's a 5-yard loss. Like, nobody was even there to attempt to slow down the edge rusher. Like, I just don't know where that was supposed to go. But that killed that drive. That one play killed that drive. And then he's back on the sideline for a long time. I mean, do you think there is any truth to the fact that maybe just they need to let Jalen play more if he's the only spark of offense?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that the court mandated Kenneth Gainwell carries need to fucking go. Like, that's just got to be, that's just got to happen. I'm trying to. I mean, I'm even on. I know you're a next gen stats guy. I'm even on here, like, trying to look at the rushing charts, seeing if there's any pattern, but there's really not. I mean, in week 1, it looked like center to tackle on the right side were his only 3 successful runs. Everything else was pretty average. Week 2, they were both on the left side. Looks like outside left tackle. Week 3. Outside left tackle, center to tackle on the right side. Everything else is pretty average. Even like the red areas are, I don't know. I mean, it looks like there's more yellow on the right side, or on the left side, excuse me. So running towards Sayamalo and Broderick is, I guess, probably a lower success rate. But there's nothing like from a pattern standpoint in terms of like rushing direction or anything like that I could say is more effective than another. I think we just have an OC issue, man. I mean, we've done metrics, we've done grades, we've done next gen stats. We're doing all these things. I really do think it's just an Arthur Smith problem. Play calling, schematics, both. That's my answer, Trent. I don't know. There's no pattern in any of the shit that we're doing. There's no pattern. I mean, play calling from weeks 1 was polar opposite of week 2, and then week 3 was polar opposite for both. I don't know. There's no pattern to it. There's no consistency even. He's just throwing shit at the wall and hope it sticks every week. That's what I think he's doing.
I brought this up yesterday, and I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on this. I think the 2 tight end set, when we're in 12 personnel with John Smith and Pat Freiermuth, needs to be thrown right in the fucking trash can. Because every time we run the ball with those 2 on the field, it's a disaster. Darnell Washington is easily the best tight end blocking tight end on the team. I think he's the best blocking tight end in the league. Why is he not on the field more when you're in run situations? I mean, that guy instantly upgrades your run game.
So I think my problem is with like the personnel, with the personnel that we have, we sort of back ourselves into a corner with the fact that we have one tight end who pretty much is every time he's on the field, you know exactly that we are running the ball, right? And then we have 2 other tight ends where every time they're on the field, it's not necessarily that they can exclusively run routes. It's the fact that that's the only thing that they're effective with. So I think what needs to happen more is Darnell and Jonnu, Donnell and Pat.
That's what I want.
All 3 at once. I think that's what needs to happen more, because when it's those 2 and Darnell off the field, they know that if we're not passing, it's free eats. Or if it's just Darnell, these defenses are like, okay, 88% chance, or whatever percentage is it, I don't have it in front of me. Let's go 92% chance they're running the ball. I think that's what we need more of. But again, we back ourselves into a corner because we have 2 guys who are good pass catchers that can't block, and then we have 1 guy who can block but isn't a very good route runner, pass catcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where teams like, sorry.
The other thing that kind of is perplexing to me, though, is if you're going to have Johnny and Pat Frymuth on the field at the same time, why is Pat the guy split out? Johnny is by far the more athletic tight end. He's the guy who needs to be spread out. And I feel like that's become quite an issue, too. Is like he's the worst blocking tight end on the group outside of Connor Hayward. Like, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, I'm going to be honest.
Our personnel is a fucking mess. I think our personnel alignments, the way that we're positioning guys, the way that we're playing guys, using Kenneth Gainwell unnecessarily, taking Darnell Washington off the field to run plays. I mean, Darnell had some nice plays last year where he stayed in the block and slipped out, and we just dumped it to him. When Aaron is looking to do these checkdowns, why are we not just letting the biggest motherfucker on the field be the checkdown? Nobody in the defensive backfield wants to tackle that guy. It's an easy pitch and catch to let this guy. Hell, if he just trips and falls forward, it's 5 yards. He's 6'7". Like, they've got to change some things up. They have to change some things up.
Well, that's where I go back to the fact that I think Arthur Smith's a little lost right now. I don't think he really knows how to use his tight ends correctly. Now, again, it still is only week 3, so I'm going to, I guess, be on the bright side per se. But yeah, I mean, it is really unfortunate because, I mean, again, appreciate it. Again, like, I don't know. I don't know if Arthur Smith knows how to use these tight ends, and it's the best tight end room in the league. There's no doubt, but I don't think he really knows what he's doing. But this is, I just kind of wanted to show this, like, in this episode as well with Rodgers. Also, just for the record, for anybody watching, out of 36 quarterbacks who have played 20% of their team's snaps, Aaron Rodgers is 35th out of 36 graded as a passer under pressure. So that is something we will be needing to monitor as well. He's been very terrible under pressure this year from a grading standpoint. And that's, whether you look at grading or not, that's just a fact. So here's why my theory of we might have a Rodgers problem, and he's taking the efficiency thing to an extensive level. So this is, let's go first here to the, can you see my cursor perchance? No. Okay, great. Let's see if you can see it now. Now can you see it?
Cannot, no.
Damn it. All right. We'll need to figure that out. So if you go to the 0+, the behind the line of scrimmage, underneath the blue line, the guy has 24 attempts, and he's 24 attempts behind the line of scrimmage this year. And he has, actually, let's go like this. This would be better. Sorry, Trent, don't mean to do it to you here, pal. So he has 24 attempts, and he has, I don't know, what's that, 23 completions.
Yep. And
his yards per attempt is somewhere around 4. His grade is like this. Okay, so what this is telling me here is he's throwing the ball way too much. If we do the math here, if you go here, right, I mean, you're looking at, I don't know, how many attempts is that? 21 plus 32 is 43, plus 24 is 67. 67 passing attempts total, Trent? Is that math right? And 24 of those are behind the line of scrimmage, right?
It's a high percentage.
32 attempts. I mean, he's 67 passing attempts on the season, Trent, and only 21 of them are past 10 yards, right? I mean, that's a terrible, terrible percentage. No? So
yeah, that's not good.
Only 31% of his passing attempts come beyond 10 yards downfield. His highest grade is short, sure, but intermediate even, he's terrible. And like Derek Bell posted last week, where it was like, why does these last 2 weeks he has this throw where he just blindly throws it to the second level and it's the easiest pick ever?
Yeah.
So the reason I give all this, I just wanted to kind of, I guess, test my theory on my stance that we might just have an Aaron Rodgers problem. So essentially what I'm getting out of this is by saying the two biggest problems I think we have are that we have an Aaron Rodgers problem and that Arthur Smith still does not know how to use tight ends.
Yeah. I think the I don't know if it's that he doesn't care. I just don't know if he's willing to take hits at this stage of his career. Doing pretty good for a 60-year-old. I don't know. I don't know. The other thing about the offense, and we're going to go to some like ungame related things here in a minute, but I feel like our short yardage is just getting way too cute. Like whatever happened to just line up under center, hand the ball off, and go downhill. I've seen 2 weeks in a row with two different guys. One was Connor Hayward, the other was Johnny Smith, where we are pulling a guy on a halfback counter from the shotgun to try to kick out an edge that is already in the backfield at the handoff. That play's never going to – I don't care who the fuck your tight end is or how athletic they are. They're not going to make that block at the goal line. It's just never going to happen. And they're sending him emotion. They're still not getting there. I don't know. I just don't understand what we're doing. The offensive line's not going downhill. I don't know that we really do anything where the offensive line goes downhill. That part drives me absolutely crazy. I saw Trey Essex today. He's bitching about how no one's in a 3-point stance on the offensive line, and that's driving him crazy. And there's nothing about this team that sets up and says we're going to be aggressive and we're going to go downhill. And even with all of that, this comment's not wrong. We're tied for first with Cincinnati, of all people. Who would have thought that? I don't know. I do know this, since we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. I saw Aaron Rodgers absolutely berating Pat Freiermuth on the field today, which is something that I didn't think I'd see. Did you see that on Sunday? Mm-hmm. Pat came across the middle. He doesn't sit down in the zone. Defender falls down behind him. He runs basically right into the corner, and Aaron tries to throw him open. He just doesn't sit down. I saw another run play where he does a check at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely berates Zach Frazier. I don't know if Zach should have made a different check with the offensive line, but basically two guys from New England came untouched to blow out Jaylen Warren in that play. So Aaron, I don't think it's that he doesn't care, because he's shown a lot of emotion so far. I think he does care. I don't think he knows how to fix it either, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, and that's why, again, I said this, in the preseason to you guys, like, I try not to make any judgments till after September, and we still do have 2 games till I technically consider it not just September. So next week I'll have like my reaction, obviously the Vikings game, which is going to be really hard to do just because Brian Flores is a genius, and I don't even want to know what he's got planned. So, but yeah, I think it's not a matter of the fact that Aaron Rodgers cares. That is true what you said. Like, why does it seem that this team is so bad at scramble drill? Mm-hmm. Like basic scramble drill? Like, maybe it's because I'm of the age where we play too much backyard football. But in my playing days, I was a great scramble drill player. Find an open spot and just kind of fucking sit there. Right? Like, if there's 2 people by you, find the one to run away from. You know what I'm saying? Like, just basic scramble drill shit. Seems like this team doesn't know about, which is just weird. It's grotesque that we have like none of our receivers that know basic fucking scramble drill. Like, these guys are not that much older than I am.
Right.
Pat Freiermuth is 4 years older than me. DK's 6. Jonu's 9. Jaylen Warren is 4. Caleb Johnson, I think, is younger than I am. Like, why the fuck do none of these guys know scramble drill? They're not that much older than I am. There's no way they didn't play backyard football when they were kids.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. Like,
even the
and that's
offensive
your
line at
point about-
times, if it's
point
hit
about
3
Rodgers.
seconds, the offensive line seems to just quit blocking at times too. Like they're just like, oh, okay, well he probably threw it by now.
And that's to your point about Rodgers, like yelling at these guys. I'm like, this is back-to-back weeks when he's like gotten into somebody for not knowing basic scramble drill. Like,
Yeah.
Calvin Austin last week and Pat Fryermuth this week. Like, these dudes are 4 years older than me. How did I play that much more backyard football than they did? You know, like I've been doing basic scramble drill since I was like 8 at my old house in the backyard with like my buddy Luke. The fuck? It's kind of weird. And like you watch
It
teams
is.
like the Bills and the Chiefs and like Rodgers Packers and like the Ravens especially, like how good they are at basic scramble drill. And it's like, why do we suck so bad at it? You know, it's just a random thing that I'm thinking about. But I was talking to this guy on Twitter about it for a while too, and he's like, I was watching the Steelers game, and the difference between the Ravens playing scramble drill versus the Steelers, it's like night and day. And I was like, I know, like, and I had meant to say something on this podcast because this is choose a pattern, and this is back-to-back weeks when the Steelers just have, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm just ranting, but it's just weird. It's grotesque. But yeah, I think that's what Rodgers is getting on him about. Is like, dude, this is basic fucking scramble drill. You've been doing this since you were 8. What are you doing? You know, you find the open spot and sit there. If there's a defender in front of you, you run back. If there's a defender behind you, you run towards the quarterback. It's basic shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
I agree with Brett on this, but at the same time, when your coach's motto is the standard, the fan base kind of tries to follow that a little bit too. And right now, this team's not. They're winning. We're 2-1, but not against great teams. And the standard does not feel like the standard right now. I can tell you that.
And I tweeted after the game. My exact words were something along the lines of like, it's not verbatim, but you know, I'll never bitch about being 2-1 in the NFL ever. You never bitch about that in the NFL. I mean, we're gonna have a game next week between the Chiefs and the Ravens where the loser's 1-3. So
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can never apologize for winning in this league. It's just how it feels when we win isn't satisfying. And part of it could seem like we're spoiled a little bit because you look at teams like the Browns and the Panthers and like the Jets and, you know, the Buccaneers and the Lions for the longest time and the Raiders and the Patriots since Tom Brady. I can go on, but these teams would just kill to be 2-1 and we're sitting there and we're 2-1 and we're like, yeah, so this needs fixed, this needs fixed, this needs fixed. And if we were like Jets fans on a podcast like this, Trent, we'd be like, holy shit, we're 2-1, let's get wasted, like, you know. But there's something uneasy about it, and I think that, you know, again, I don't judge anything till after September. I think we have 2 weeks left in the year to make any judgments, but I will say, like myself, that if one of these 2 weeks there isn't a game that's just fully put together, defense looks good, offense is efficient in scoring, Boswell's doing his thing, no idiotic plays on kick return, you know, I think we have 2 weeks till I'm out. If we don't, and I'm going to be honest, Trent, it's probably not going to happen against Minnesota because Brian Flores is great. Kevin O'Connell's greater.
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't, I don't know who the fuck we play week 6, but if it doesn't happen in week 6, I think you and I are coming back having a way different conversation in the middle of October.
I think the part of it is, to be honest with you, that it felt like in the offseason this team was trying to go all in with some of the moves they made. We weren't bringing in guys for the future. Darius Slay is not a long-term guy. It's a very real possibility that Jalen Ramsey is not going to be a long-term guy here. He might not be here next year, the way the contract's drawn out.
He will.
I hope he won't. I think they want him to be here, but I'm just saying there's a possibility where he's not going to be here. You bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you don't bring a 42-year-old quarterback here to be here long term. You could Johnny Smith, that's not going to be a long-term move. You can kind of go down the line with some of these moves that they made in the offseason, and it's like, okay, this team's trying to go and make a run right now. And then when you see the production that's on the field so far, the defense looks terrible through two weeks. They played great-ish in this game by the way that they were able to get pressure. They were able to create turnovers. Still good bit of yardage given up by them, but you can live with that with the plays they were making on defense. The offense just doesn't feel good. And it's like, is this team ever going to put it together? Or some of these things that we're picking apart, are these like glaring issues that are going to continue to show up throughout the year? That's where I think a lot of the fan base is at. Is this was being sold as, oh, this is going to be the greatest defense, historic defense. Some of the guys on defense are saying that in the offseason. It's not what's showing up on the field. Aaron Rodgers, people talked about, okay, well, his back half of the year in New York, even though New York was a dumpster fire, he was still like top 8 in a lot of statistical categories. That ain't that guy that's showing up right now. He's made some plays, but that's not the guy that's showing up right now. The offensive line, we got all this investment in the offensive line. We got 2 first-round tackles. We brought in Isaac Seumalo a few years ago. We've got Zach Frazier playing like the 3rd best center in the NFL, and you got to assume Mason McCormick's going to take a step forward. Except they haven't, because this offensive line's still bad. They're not good. I mean, can they turn it around? Sure, it's only 3 weeks into the season. Of anybody, that might be the group that you have the most faith in have a chance to turn things around, because if they don't, no one's going to. We talk ad nauseum. It's the 2 tackles are going to determine how this season goes. And right now they're both playing bad. The offense isn't playing good. That's just the bottom line. And sure, we're spoiled as fans. But it's because this was sold to us like a team. We can definitely win a playoff game this year. We're gonna break the streak. Not like this.
No, stop.
No, I'm not on board with that yet.
I mean, I think it's that what we're seeing from Rodgers right now is what he looked like last year through 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing with the offensive line is what the Jets looked like last year through 3 weeks, and what the Jets defense looks like through 3 weeks last year. Like it feels like a weird deja vu almost.
Yeah.
To where it's a Rodgers-led team that has a great roster on paper, takes a while to put it together. The faith I have is that we have Tomlin who's going to keep us in it. And if Rodgers is a top 8 quarterback, I think he was top 6 in my opinion last year. The final 6 weeks of the year, I thought he was top 5. What if that happens this year, Trent? I mean, what we're seeing with early season Rodgers this year is early season Rodgers last year. I mean, whether we like it or not, he's on pace for 40 touchdown passes. Do you know that? He's on pace.
He's leading the league right now, right?
No, I don't think so. Still, he's on pace for 39.6 40 touchdown 39 touchdown passes. I mean, do you know that? Like, I mean, it's a weird situation, and like, I think this year, if this team goes all in and we don't win a playoff game, I do think that changes will be made from a coaching staff standpoint. That has to happen. And no, I don't think Omar Khan's clueless at all. I think Frazier was a hit. You gotta also understand this is Fautanu's de facto first year, like de facto rookie year.
He's the guy at the most faith getting better.
Broderick Jones played his natural position 4 games in his whole career. One of those being week 5 as a rookie when Dan Moore got hurt. McCormick, let's be honest, fellas, he was a 4th rounder. I mean, sure. Is it cool to have 4th rounders be all world? Yeah. But the expectation for a 4th rounder, can you be average to just below average? And that's what he is. Sayamalo, this is 3rd year with the team. Sorry, fellas. He's about to be 33 in November. Football players don't last till they're 33 very often.
He's not looking good.
Right. And it's not necessarily a con issue. It's just like rebuilds don't take 2 years. Rebuilds take 4, 5 years. And that's why, me and you have been doing this for 2 years now, and we've said the whole rebuild on the fly doesn't cut it in this league.
No, it does not.
The best way to shorten a rebuild is by cleaning house, getting a fuck ton of capital and a fuck ton of money, trying to do it in 2 to 3 years. So I'm with Brett. You get a 2 to 3 year rebuild, you get picks. Pittsburgh's been trying to do it on the fly.
And he has. He's acquired a shit ton of picks for next year. So he's loaded up. I mean,
with Najee going down and Russell Wilson getting benched, we might not get 2 of them, but
yeah. We still have a good shot to have a lot of picks in that draft. So
yeah,
I agree with this one too.
Yeah,
I totally agree with this. Pat Myers is a fucking garbage coach.
Yeah, a lot of it is coaching. So, but yeah, I mean, Vikings are going to be a big test. I mean, again, I'm giving us 2 games for us to put it together, or at least show signs of life on both ends of the field. You're never going to get 5 turnovers in a game. That happens once a season.
Yeah.
So if we can do a good job against the Vikings defense or Vikings offense in terms of just total yardage and everything like that, I'm happy. I don't expect a good offensive performance. I really don't, Trent. And I think on Tuesday of next week, we can't sit here and bitch too much because Brian Flores doesn't let anybody score. Brian Flores has not let anybody have a good offensive game. So my mindset going into Minnesota is that I want the defense to play well. And then my mindset going into Cincinnati is that if I don't see both ends of the ball playing good ball, I'm out.
If you think a GM's going to have 3 drafts and take you to the Super Bowl, you're nuts, dude.
I want to go through this.
I mean, you can't get 3 drafts in and go to a Super Bowl. I mean, most GMs are hitting on guys at least at a higher rate than he is right now. They're missing it all the time.
All right. Let's go through this. Actually, I'm curious. So I'll go through. I'll name a name, and we say what we think. Just a couple words. 2023, Omar Khan's first draft class. Broderick Jones, starter at left tackle, still developing. Joey Porter Jr., starting corner, probably going to get a second contract.
Good pick.
Keanu Benton, starting nose tackle, might get a second contract. Has struggled, but maybe. Average pick.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Darnell Washington, tight end, has made some
pick.
big plays for us. Great pick.
Great pick.
Nick Herbig.
Pick.
Nick Herbig.
Maybe the best pick he's ever had.
Corey Trice. Not a good pick.
Not a good pick. If he ever stayed healthy, he ain't never staying healthy.
Spencer Anderson. Going to get a second contract. Going to be a swing offensive lineman.
Fantastic pick in the 7th round.
Money. All right. 2024. Troy Fautanu. Stud.
He's going to be a stud.
Zach Frazier. Stud. Roman Wilson. Haven't seen much. We don't know.
Yeah.
Peyton Wilson.
Not feeling good about Roman Wilson. I'm not going to lie.
That's fine.
Your team still can't get on the field. Peyton Wilson, good pick.
Peyton Wilson, good pick. Mason McCormick, pretty solid pick.
Starter in 4th round.
Logan Lee, not a good pick. No. Ryan Watts, unfair. That's unfair.
Yeah.
He would. That's a sad situation. 2025, Derek Harmon.
Looks like a great pick after one game.
Caleb Johnson.
I don't know what the hell the coaching staff's doing with him, but
Too
to
early
be
to tell.
determined.
Jack Sawyer.
I thought he's played
Decent.
well. Honestly,
He's played
I thought
all
he's played. He's been fine.
I'll give it a 4 out of 10 pick for now. Y.A. Black.
He looks like a great pick.
Pretty good. Will Howard. Too early. Carson Bruner. This is a ball knower tweet. I say it's a good pick.
He has been all over special teams. I'm telling you what, if any of you watch the All 22, you will notice 44 every single time he's on fucking special teams. He's around the ball, or he's making a tackle, or he's eating up blocks to get somebody else to tackle. I mean, that kid is just he's playing fantastic.
You know, that's all right, dude.
You can call it average if you want to. That I mean, everybody who's going to call it average is going to base it solely on the way Troy Fautanu and Broderick Trent's playing right now, and Roman Wilson.
He averages like 3 good picks in the draft. Dude, big pun. They're also in year 3, year 2 are rookies. Like, we have to put that into account. Anyway, yeah, I think a litmus test for ball knowledge would be going through film, finding some guy on each team who is just a monster on special teams, and asking a fan of that team, what do you think about this guy? And that is me with Carson Bruner right now. I don't want to hear any Carson Bruner hate, because that dude is balling on special teams. And he does uncoachable shit. Run hard, give effort, block hard. That's all you want. Out of a 7th round pick, Trent, I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
I'll take it all day. If that dude gets a second contract to be a special teamer, I'll take it all day.
Yeah. I get where John's coming from on that comment. I think he's just – we are. But, again, it's game 3 of the season. We'll see if anything else changes. But
I mean, again, these guys are in year 3. They're sophomores, juniors, or freshmen. Let's put it that way. Like, they're literally freshmen, sophomores, or juniors. Now, I think the second contract's the biggest thing. I mean, if we can get 3 second contracts out of that 2023 class, which I predict we'll get 3, I think JPJ, I think Benton eventually, and I think Spencer Anderson will all get second contracts. And probably Herbig, actually, too. So we'll probably get 4.
If we can afford it.
2024 class, I would find it hard to believe we didn't give Frazier or Fautanu both the second contract.
Yeah.
McCormick is up in the air. Peyton Wilson probably will. Roman Wilson probably won't. So that's 3 or 4 from that class. And then from what I'm seeing in 3 games in 2025, I think Harmon.
Black. Definitely. They look at him as the future.
I don't know,
Cam Hayward spot.
I don't know, man. It's hard to justify giving 3 defensive linemen in 3 different years a second contract.
I don't think Benton's going to get one. I'll be honest with you. I don't think the way he's playing right now, that's the type of guy he could be a louder milk contract. A guy that you bring back as depth. I don't think he's getting starter contract.
I still believe.
And Jesus. We're going to skip that one. Calvin Anderson was not drafted here, dude. JPJ, yes, that's a good draft pick. He's a solid cornerback in the league. I don't know where you're going with that. Like Benton.
I think he's trying to say Spencer Anderson, but Spencer Anderson's a good player.
Spencer Anderson, the 7th round pick, who's turned into a very reliable 5-position backup. You can't find a 2nd round pick that's a fucking 5-position backup.
You know what, Trent? I think he might replace Sam Olive.
Actually, I've advocated for him to replace Sam Olive right now the way Sam Olive is playing. Although Sam Olive played better last game against the Patriots.
Yeah, I think his grading system is very much carried by last week. I think he actually played a really good game against New England. Yeah, I mean, Spencer Anderson's been our 6th OL all year, so he's clearly who they think is the guy who could swing at all 5 positions. And I think he gets a second contract for sure.
So let me ask you this, because he's bringing up Raymond Wilson. Would you trade for DJ Moore if he's available?
Oh, yes. Yes, I am a DJ Moore fan. Yes, I am a DJ Moore fan.
I don't know if there was any truth to that, but there is one of those handles on X that said DJ Moore is alleged getting some conversation coming from some outside teams. I don't know if he is actually available, if he's not available, if this is just like somebody trying to stir some shit up for likes. I can tell you right now, if DJ Moore is available, I'm taking that dude. So I don't know. But all right, man, you got anything else?
No, I got nothing. I mean, pretty good episode. Pretty excited to talk about on Tuesday next week. I'm really curious to see how much I like the field in Ireland. I kind of did myself promised myself I wouldn't look at like the field and stadium details till the game. So yeah. I kind of want to be surprised. I feel like I've seen every stadium in the NFL numerous times, and I really want to see what this one looks like. So
all right. Pun, I tell you what, on the bye week, Colin and I will go through this, at least in one of our segments.
Yeah, let's go bye week. Let's do like a mailbag, like we just answer a bunch of people's questions.
I like it. Pun, we will definitely do that. You tune in next week.
All
right, Colin. Well, appreciate you coming on again. Good episode. We ran a little long. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Everybody watching, appreciate the engagement. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I don't think they're going to finish third or fourth. I mean, have you seen the Browns and the Bengals? Like, okay. So anyway, have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
It doesn't matter how you play the game. It's whether you win or lose. And even that doesn't make all that much difference.
Would you please just try to pay attention?
Well, if you'd say something
hey
worth
guys,
hearing.
What are you doing? What does it look like?
Yeah, we're surfing the World Wide Web.
Fine. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Hey, don't mention it. Like I said before, mi casa, su casa.